Cover the topic of why is this version of He-Man called 2000X? So let me go ahead and do my sound check first, make sure everything's working. First of all, if you're here, go ahead and sound off so we know who's here. Let's see. I don't know why the video's not started playing on my phone yet. Wow, we got quite the leg going on. Burp, burp, burp. Hey, Don Draper, can you hear me? Let me know if you can or not, because my phone is not wanting to. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Just must be my particular phone's going slow. Let's see now. All right, there we go. Cool. Hey, Fallen Jedi, thanks for being here. So many of you guys already know this because you're He-Man fans, but it's surprising how many people either write it wrong or don't know what it is, and they just put the number 2000 and X afterwards. So let's go and talk about this really quick. So we had these cool cartoons that came out in 2002, 2003, and we got a bunch of cool figures that came out, and they're really awesome. So on the He-Man.org site, anytime somebody would want to talk about this cartoon or these figures, they would put either 2002 slash 2003, or they would put 2002 slash 03. And that's how they'd always write it when they want to talk about the figure. Well, somebody noticed that, really, if you put 2000 and then represent this last character with an X, you would then have 2000X. And what's funny is it was just one guy one time that happened to write this 2000X like this, and it took off. We all started liking it because a lot of people are Generation X, so that's cool. We love X-Men. X is a cool letter, and so the 2000X, which is actually written 200X, really stuck. And it's funny because one time I called the Mattel helpline, and they had some new figures that were coming out with classics, and they had the 2000X look to them. And the lady on the phone goes, 200X? I'm like, oh, okay, she doesn't know. So really, it just stands for 2002, 2003, which is funny because we had some figures that were released actually in 2000 and 2001, which was the commemoratives. And we don't call those ones 2000Y or whatever. But so that is how the coin term came up with 2000X. Yep, Master Fa already knew it. Cool. Yep, I'm a filthy millennial. Don, it was hilarious. I was watching the show yesterday and it cracked me up. It takes place in the future, and these kids were looking at this old guy, and the kid says, "Those millennials." And it just cracked me up because we always think of millennials as kids, and in this show I was watching that took place in the future, that the millennials were old people, and it was just it was funny just hearing that and seeing that. There's this old guy, those millennials, and as time goes on, millennials are going to be pretty soon middle aged, pretty soon old people, and it's just crazy because in my mind, millennials like hot new trends and that stuff, and young and hip and happening. But even like my kids, 3 out of 4 of my kids are in their 30s now. It's like, where'd the time go? So that's funny. My kids like to tease me and they'll call me boomer. It's like, I'm not a boomer. I am a Generation X, which to me, I think Generation X is cool. It sounds cool. X Games, X-Men, 2000X, you throw the X in there and it just sounds cool, I think. Millennials are millennials because it happened during this time switch, the 2000 year switching over, but still. What, Rick, you don't have your flying car yet? Man, you must not live in the Pacific Northwest. We have flying cars everywhere. In fact, it's hard to walk around because they only fly about 4 feet high. They hover more than fly, and so you got to duck all the time. It does go by fast. Hey, Black Phoenix 77. He has his Origins Roboto. It came in the mail today. Excellent. Let me know, did it cost you a small arm and a leg or a fortune, or did you get it for a pretty good deal? All right. Fallen Jedi, Generation X. Yes. And see, for me, I'm at the beginning of the Generation X. So I'm actually the older Generation Xers. My older brother was actually he actually fell on the other side, so he was actually a baby boomer. And so it's kind of funny, even in our household, he was a boomer and I was a Generation Xer, so it was kind of crazy. How much does your car insurance cost? It depends if you're over 25 or not, man. Let's see. Don says, I think Big Bad Toy Store was taking pre-orders on She-Ra and Roboto Wave. Yeah, they were on there at one time. The eBay price was good, but the shipping, oh, that's kind of painful. $20 shipping. But I guess since it's probably mint in the box, fitting that box into a box and shipping it does get kind of spendy. All right, count blood count, count blood count. Let's take a look. Let's see what the years are for Generation X. Just because he asked the question. I have this really fancy thing. It has something called Google. What? My Google's updating. No, I can't even do it. There we go. It's not updating. Whew. Let's see. Years for Generation X. Go. 1965 to 1980. So those are the Generation Xers. Baby boomers are from 1946 to 1964. So there you go. Yes, I wish they had more articulation too. I had a lot of friends at the time, and you guys probably did too, that would take and use other toy lines from Hasbro, and they would actually take off all the chunks and pieces and make them more articulated. As you know, I have done that with classics. I have classic figures that I have ripped off this guy's poor parts and have classicized them. Here, let me show those who have not seen it yet, and then I'll end this video because I have another video to make tonight here on the same channel, so you don't have to worry about going to find me somewhere else. Okay, Flea Man. I got it. My big Flea Man case here. A nothing but custom He-Man and original He-Man from Classics. Gotta scoot my chair over. Oh, I put it on the cord of the lights. Okay. Let me show you my awesome 2000X custom He-Man. Oh. So here he is. And of course I got both sets of armors in case I want to change them. And it makes this figure so cool is, one, I stole the armor from him. I stole the loincloth from him and stretched it out. As you can see, it looks a lot bigger because it's been stretched to fit over a standard loincloth. And then I stole the boots from Spike-Or because his boots have the nice dark brown. And then I carefully cut off the wrist cuffs and sanded them out and then heated them up and stretched them on. As you can see, they are also bigger because they're stretched into place. And there they are. Now I know this cuff's supposed to go along the bottom of the elbow, but I liked it better matching up with the circle. So there is my 2000X. Oh, I'm knocking stuff over. Oh, check it out. I painted him today. Did some orange on him instead of the yellow. I decided to keep the Origins armor on him that I put on last night to show how it was done. I thought, you know what? If I'm doing that, I'm painting them orange too. So, and you can see the difference between the yellow and the orange. Now I know it sounds funny, but I like doing the cuffs the same. As you can see, he has the cuffs the same. He has the cuffs the same. Which stinks is because each one of these represent two He-Man figures to do that, because they only come with one cuff on one side. And so, there we go. Anyway, just having fun painting this morning. Anyway. Some of you are now older than the Keaton's family from Family Ties or the Bundys. Yes, I know. It's so crazy. It's so crazy to think how quick time goes by and how fast we age. Oh. See, replaced Tila's head too, for those who haven't seen that yet. G.I. Tila. I put it on my Instagram today. I know I made a video about it when I first did it, but I wanted to show her off next to my new He-Man today. So anyway, so there he is. There's my cool 2000X custom. I've made a lot of 2000X customs, sold quite a few of them, but this is the one I'm keeping. Now, if you can't afford to do one like this, a quick fix for 2000X He-Man is just grab a King Grayskull figure and just change the head out. That's the quickest way to do it. Now, I did change the boots too. I think these boots here are actually Dogator. I'm not sure, but I think these are Dogator's boots here. So I wanted the darker brown. And you can tell they're not King Grayskull, because King Grayskull has a thick border around it. Or if you want to just go full out King Grayskull, there we go. Here's one that's just complete King Grayskull, just a head swap to make your 2000X He-Man. Anyway, now I'm digressing. I didn't mean to go this deep into 2000X. I just wanted to explain where 2000X came from. So as a quick recap, for those that just joined, it is from the cartoon and the toys being released in 2002, 2003, some in 2004. So instead of writing it out, they just swapped out the one character that was wild with an X, and that's how you write it, is 200X, which stands for 2000X. Not 200X like the help desk at Maddie Collector thought. All right, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Oh, there's a question here. Is there any way to find out who the allies of the Snake Men were during the Pre-Eternia? Those are all good questions. I'm not always sure exactly. I know some storylines is that they were allied with Skeletor at one time because he went back in time too. And the other storylines that he was lined up with Keldor. And then of course we have the nameless one, which was like a Trollian from Orko's homeland. There's all kinds of storylines. And of course King Hiss was back then too. I saw that. Mechanic is coming out with Origins. In fact, I think they're releasing it with the Road Ripper. And I think I made a joke to somebody earlier saying that's the only way they can sell Mechanic, is they have to sell them with the Road Ripper. If you want Mechanic, if you want the Road Ripper, you got to take a Mechanic too. Oh. But we'll see how he's released and how he comes out. I did give her the crossbow too. I think it's a really cool fit, and I think it goes in great with the He-Man toys. Small little crossbow. Chink. So... fun. I could tell she keeps her crossbow arrows in her bag right here or something. Even though the bag's not quite tall enough, but what the heck. Works good enough for me. Actually, you know what? She is really loose on top. I should probably replace her or find a way to tighten that up. Because, I mean, she just kind of wobbles way too much. Tila, what have you been drinking? You're kind of wobbly. So, I do have another Tila to open, so I may end up... let's see if the other one's just... let me know if yours is just as wobbly like that, because maybe it won't matter if I get a new one or not, because it might be just as wobbly. And it's weird is the back has this split right here where this is supposed to be connected, but because of articulation reasons, they just made it so it wasn't. So it has kind of this weird disjointed thing. There we go. All right, GI Tila. Government issue Tila. Maybe it should be EI, Eternian issued Tila. Yes, I enjoy the 2000X cartoon too. It's one of my favorites. There's some things in it though that I don't, believe it or not, totally agree with. But as far as the lore of most of the cartoons, 2000X is probably my favorite as well. So it was fun. All right, like, subscribe, and I'll have another video in a few minutes opening up my Fisto and Stridor 2-pack. So stay tuned for that, and I will bring out my other minis at the same time. And I will see you guys. I hope I don't end up like the old guy in Grant. All right. Anyway, I will see you guys next video. I'll clean this up and set up the next thing, and we'll have fun. Hey, Jeff made it. Bye now.